All right, welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today is our monthly series called Social Bootcamp with Gogo Bethke. Now, Gogo Bethke came to the United States in 2003 to build her American dream. She was broke. She had no real estate experience, no sphere of influence, barely spoke English, and only had $6 to her name. So that left her with nothing other than Facebook to help build her business, which is where she started. She created Gogo's Real Estate and began her real estate career. Now, with the power of social media, Gogo has sold over, and I know this is an old number, so she will probably correct it, but she sold over 75 million, probably close to 100 million now in real estate transactions. She shares the good, the bad, and the ugly of real estate, and her honest snippets into her daily life on social media has earned her tens of thousands of followers. And in the real estate community, she has earned the nickname the Queen of Social Media. Now, after being asked to present at various conferences and events with realtors, she built her own social media bootcamp for realtors, which is called Gogo's Bootcamp. Today, she has a team of over 600 agents nationwide. That might also be an old number, but her goal is to help as many agents as possible make a name for themselves in real estate utilizing social media. Now, if she can do it, this girl from Transylvania, Romania, with no formal US education, no sphere of influence, no money, no experience, and an accent, then anyone can do it as well. Please follow Gogo on Instagram at Gogo's Real Estate. That's Gogos Real Estate. And also, please consider investing in her boot camp. She has this incredible social media boot camp. It is absolutely worth the cost of admission. And even if it only nets you one new sale, one new client, which it won't, it'll net you dozens and dozens and dozens. It pays for itself, even just with one transaction, like 5 times over probably or more. So please, and we have actually a special link just for our podcast audience. So please go to gogopodcast.com to learn more about her social media bootcamp. It's the only social media program for realtors we recommend. We endorse it. We love it. And we're glad to have Gogo once again on the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to be here again.
Well, we are thrilled to have you again because every time you come with a great idea. So Gogo and I were just talking and about what we would discuss today. And she said, hey, have we ever talked about being a referral agent? And I said, I don't think we have, but this is now that everybody is so used to meeting virtually, there's probably never been a better time to really add that to your business.
Yeah, it occurred to me one time, this is way back, and I was like, what if I get pregnant again? Like, I wouldn't want to open doors. I wouldn't want to sit open houses pregnant. I wouldn't want, there's a certain part of the job that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing. So I was like, how am I going to make commission? So that's when it occurred to me. So this is way back. But today with social media, it couldn't be any easier than that. So here's what I would do. First of all, of course, everything that I suggest, it's done off of your Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, okay? Like, you have to have these accounts. If not, it's not going to work. So here's what you do. You have all of your accounts. So here's what I would do, okay? So just get into the habit of maybe once a week or maybe once a day, in your stories, you could feature a state. Now, think about it this way. Assume that your clients don't understand that you can refer, because most clients don't. Most clients understand that you are licensed in the state that you're licensed in, and that's about it. So let's say you're in the Chicago area. Your clients are not going to be calling you because they want to buy a condo in Delaware, okay?
Right.
They can go on Zillow, for example, or whatever site they're going to go on, they're going to find a local agent, okay? So it's your job to let the world know that you could help them in any possible state. Now, would you be legs on the ground? No. Would you be the one personally opening the door? Absolutely not. But yeah, you can hook them up with a rock star agent who would treat them the same way than you would. So what I would do is take a story style video every single day and just kind of say, hey guys, did you know that I can help you in Kentucky? And then what you do most importantly in that post is that you swipe up and then you tag a location. You're going to go location and tag Kentucky. Why? Because you want the people in Kentucky to see that video. So your goal is to notify everybody that already follows you that you can help them in Kentucky. And then it's also your goal to make sure that people who are in Kentucky who don't follow you yet see your post, so then they can follow you and see everything else that you do. So here's the way I look at it. DJ, what do you think the average commission is nationwide?
Well, let's see. Let's say the average home price is what? Let's 300,000. Is that probably fair?
And
right around there.
Is 300. Yeah. I would say the average commission is probably 7,500 nationwide.
Yeah, that's 2.5% of that. Perfect.
Yeah. So if you do 7,500 nationwide, would you make a phone call for, what is that, $1,800, 17 something? What would that come out to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
25%.
Yeah. So yeah, I would make that call. I would make that video all day long and make that call. And when somebody says, hey, I want to move to Delaware, then hopefully by then I've already contacted and found a great realtor in Delaware or wherever, Annapolis or wherever they might be, the DC area. And here's a little tip from me, and Gogo might have a different strategy, but if you're like, well, I don't know any realtors in that area, well, Zillow is your friend for this particular instance, right? So you go on and you take a look at who's got the most reviews, right? That's a good place to start. Or who's got the best reviews, or go to Google, type in Delaware realtors and see who's got great reviews. And just start interviewing a few and say, hey, I'm going to start doing some marketing for my sphere of influence and my social media audience. And I might be sending some referrals. Do you accept referrals? Of course, they're going to say yes. And, you can negotiate whatever the split might be, 25, 30%, whatever. And so, yeah, it's really easy to find realtors. That's not going to be the problem.
Yeah. So if you do that, I think on one transactions, it's 1,750. If you do that, let's say 4 times over, one a week, that's $7,000 a month.
It's unbelievable. It's
Go get a job, a real job. Like $7,000, you made 4 phone calls.
And it costs you probably only just a little bit of time to make your video or your story. And here's what you could do. So I was just interviewing a top luxury agent in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and he works with celebrities, and like his average price point is like 5 million because they have all these ranches and lots of land. And he was saying, he goes, most people who move here, who buy that kind of property, it's not their first home. It's their second, it's their third. He's a high-end luxury agent. And he said, now again, most of us don't have a lot of clients probably in that bracket, but he said the population growth's exploded out here because with COVID and working at home, people now are like, I can kind of work anywhere. So maybe that becomes the focus of your stories, where you start to say, hey, for all you people thinking you may want to go somewhere else and work remotely.
There might be another reason. I think Delaware, if I am correct, one of those states that don't have income state income taxes.
That's Delaware.
That's probably one of the other reasons that people move to Delaware.
Huge. And especially for a corporation, there's lots of corporate tax benefits in Delaware. But what you might want to start doing is create a little series where you're like, hey, thinking about moving, here's a couple of cool places to check out. So you do a little 1-minute video about Jackson Hole or Ocean City, Maryland, or wherever, Nashville, and you like, but what Gogo says is really important. You want to make sure you use hashtags that are going to be found by people who are interested in those areas. Do you have any hashtag tools that you use for research, or do you take a look yourself on Instagram for what people are using, or how do you determine which hashtags to use?
So of course, if I'm talking about Delaware, I'm going to use the hashtag Delaware, or moving to Delaware, or Delaware real estate, or real estate in Delaware, or homes for sale in Delaware, or realtors, or Delaware realtors, or realtor real estate, like all of those things that are tied to. You always want to do the home for sale in whatever city, Brighton, or things like that, or state. So the same thing, like I use hashtag in 2 different ways. Number one, I use it so it allows other people to find my post. But if I'm searching for something, I'm going to search for that hashtag. So if I want to see, who's an awesome, cool Delaware realtor, I'm going to put in Delaware realtor and see what comes up. And then I'm going to go to the profiles and be like, you look like you and me could be friends. So let's work together. So then I'm going to call you and be like, hey, I just checked out your social media profile. I kind of like what I see. I started working on referring referrals to Delaware. Would you like to partner with me at a 25%? Would you be interested if I sent you all of my Delaware leads? What do you think they're going to say? No.
Right. And the other thing you could do too is you could do like a fun little interview with them, and you could take snippets of it and post, you could do a little Zoom meeting where just the 2 of you, and you're like, hey, tell me why people are moving to Delaware. Tell me what's cool about, the area you service. Tell me what makes you special as a realtor, except blah, blah, blah. And then you can cut that thing up. I mean, anybody can do it. And now you have content that you both could share. Right. And then, so yeah, boy, what a great idea. I love that.
The only reason I wouldn't want to do that is because then they're going to find the other agent directly, and there goes your 20.
Good point. Let's rethink that one. See, this is why Gogo's here. She tells me, hey, you don't want them going directly to the other agent.
I want to be nice, but I want to get paid for what I'm going to generate.
Let's strike that last comment.
I would
She's
have a
absolutely right.
conversation with the agent, and then I would
Yes,
say,
you have the
and then,
conversation. Yes.
and then I take the knowledge that I learned from that phone call.
Yes.
And I'm going to then repeat it on a video, and I'm going to post it and tell people just reach out to me because I have the most amazing local agent for you. Let me hook you up.
It's such a great idea. And we know people are moving. I mean, just think about how many people have left New York City. And certainly we hope they return because New York is such an important city. But a lot of people have left. And I met, when I was on a trip, I met 4 different couples who now just travel around and they work remotely and they work in other countries. And eventually one guy we met goes, I rented out my place in New York and I'm moving to Boulder. And we're like, he goes, I love being around the mountains. And he doesn't get that in New York. So I don't know who his agent is, but I should have gone, I have an agent for you in Boulder. I didn't think about it because I was on vacation. But if I was smarter,
You're on vacation mode, brain. You were
I was
not
on vacation,
brain. You were
I
not
was
like a mish, you were drinking a mimosa and
yes. And it is, but it is such a great idea. This is, I think, going to be, and we should also mention Gogo too. This is part of your, you don't really go out recruiting agents because you attract agents, but you attract agents from all over the country with your content. So we're really talking about kind of a similar thing. You're doing it to work with more agents, and your agents are doing it to find more clients. It's really the same exact strategy.
And then you can do, just the same thing that you're doing. Like now, when you generate all of these leads nationwide and stuff, well, I cannot do that transaction, right? I just generated the lead. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at marketing. So I'm good at generating the leads. Now I get to feed it to all of these agents that decided to partner with me.
Yeah.
So it helps absolutely everybody. So you can look at it from the perspective of like, I'm kind of building a team. I'm building a nationwide team. Then I help them. I generate leads. I feed their family. They pay me a percentage, and you might be able just to live off of referrals. As you said, you had a guy you were talking to last week who does 100% referrals and never sold a house or planning on selling another house.
Yeah, that episode will be coming up shortly, but I interviewed my first agent who this is their full-time thing now. And they just schedule Zoom meetings with clients from all over the country, learn about them and say, okay, I got somebody you can talk to. And then they pass it off. And this, I think, is really going to be a very important thing going forward. And what's so great about it is realtors often work so hard on their own, the deals that they have to service. And we know how hard our listeners know how hard they work. This is a way to generate more income with doing very little work. And you just pass it off, earn 25, 30%, whatever. And all you have to do is create the content that attracts those clients. So create.
And this is specific a little bit to EXP, but who knows? We could have hundreds of agents on here who are listening. We have a certification program that's called a Global Marketing Agent Certification, which we just did the training in Team Gogo today, which allows you, listen to this, because all the referrals we are mentioning here, it's only in the 30 states, right? About 30. Right. Let's do the math again. In all the states, okay? The reason I said 30, because we have agents in 30 states on Team Gogo, that's where 30 came from. But this marketing, so the Global Marketing Agent Certification allows agents to take a listing in Dubai. Like I could take a listing in Dubai.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I could take a listing in, I don't know, Spain or the French Riviera or Mexico, take a hotel in Mexico and list it. So now it allows agents to not just think here in the United States where you can actually track a commission, but it will give you a marketing rights, which will then give you payment for that marketing rights. So it's not technically a commission because you're not the listing agent on the property, but it's a marketing agreement where they compensate you for your marketing. So it's just another way of doing it.
I love it. Let's talk about the boot camp real quick before we let you get on with your day, because that is such an important cornerstone product and service that you provide. And it is the only thing out there like it in the industry. And there's, 1.6 million realtors, and they all need to have this boot camp. So tell us about the boot camp and let us know why our agents should, or our listeners should be involved in it.
Well, when I started out in real estate, as you can hear from my accent, I didn't have a sphere of influence. So I didn't have cousins and high school friends and anybody that's going to buy a house from me. So I realized very early on that I have to work with strangers. And where are strangers? They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn, they're on any of these platforms. And I can reach somebody that I don't personally know. And last I checked, everybody needs a roof above their head, right? So I looked at everybody's like, they're my potential client. That's my potential seller right there. That's my potential buyer right there. So over time, I became really good at this social media game because I was not good at anything else. With an accent and my real name being Yunvir, I could not cold call, okay? Like, and then everybody calls me here Gogo in the US. So that's just the wrong 1-800 number, okay? So I was like, cold calling is not for me. I'm 5'2", little blondie. I'm not gonna door knock, that's stranger danger. You know, I couldn't afford to spend not even 40 cents on a stamp to mail out 8,000 mailers. I didn't have money for that. So I had to figure out a free version of marketing this Gogo's real estate thing so I can make it in this industry. So that's how the social media bootcamp pretty much happened, is because I turned my knowledge into video-based series. So you can log in anytime. When you purchase the program, you get access to the program for life. So as the industry changing, as social media is changing, because I don't market the same way in 2021 than I did in 2011, right? Because it's different. Even though it's social media, it's different than what it was before. So as we are adding on to the course, everybody who is a member of the course, they just automatically get it. They're a member for life. Now, some of our OGs, as we like to call them, they paid $49. And they have full access to a bootcamp. The bootcamp price is going up here soon. It will double-ish. So keep that in mind. What the price is today, you won't have that price ever again. And it's hundreds and hundreds of videos pretty much explaining anything from the very, very basics of social media, why you do things, how you do things, when to do things, those kind of things, all the way down to how to use Zapier for integration, how to build a team, how to hire a virtual assistant with the power of social media. Pretty much absolutely anything that you can think of that took me to where I'm at today, from where I started, from basics up. I call it your social media house, okay? I cannot possibly teach you the roof unless we had a foundation. Then we're gonna build a house. Then we're gonna put the rooms and all of those different systems in it. And then we're gonna put a roof on it, right? So it starts out very basic, very boring, explaining what your name is, why you should have a picture and what kind of picture you should have, all the way down to how to link your accounts together and how to run ads and, you know, all of those things that you could possibly have. So I teach the organic side of social media marketing because I've never run an ad myself. And then now I have a business partner named Sammy. He runs all of my ads. So when you see those, no, I didn't do that. Sammy did that. Okay. And then Sammy teaches the advertising. So think of it this way. We have so many agents. Actually, one of our agents just messaged me last week and he says, I fired Zillow. Because
Wow.
he learned to build a brand and lead generate with his own name, where he no longer needs to spend $4,000 a month on Zillow. Imagine that. Imagine when you know how to fish. I like to call it fishing. So it's not, I'm never going to give you a fish. I mean, we give leads out all the time. Don't think of it that way. But the goal is not me to feed you leads. The goal is for me to teach you how to fish and put food on the table. So that's what the social media course is. Just
and it's
anything you need to know about social media.
Dozens of hours of content, by the way, and it is an absolute must buy. We could not be more supportive of this product. And I guess it's really more of a service than a product, because it teaches you everything you need to know. Like Gogo says, how to fish and create your own social media sort of presence so that you can attract more clients versus doing the mailers and the door knocking and all of the cold calls that really none of us want to do, let's be honest, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing those things, but social media is probably the gentler, easier, softer way. And we're all on social media all the time. And the other thing, I just want to go back real quickly to your idea of the referral thing. And by the way, for those of you that are thinking, should I do TikTok? Why not? And if you can take that same content that you've used to create your stories for referral business, as we mentioned earlier, you can also put that on TikTok, hashtag it the exact same way, and see where you get the most.
You want to cross-pollinate. You don't want to create the video 4 times over. You create it one time and you post it on everything.
Awesome. Well, I want to, this is a perfect place to wrap up, because it's just a great actionable thing. Every one of our listeners, go out and start creating this content. Content is king. Content is king.
And you have to stay consistent. You can't do it one week and then not do it ever again. So create your schedule and say, you know what, I feel like every Tuesday morning I could feature a different state. So let's say this Tuesday, you're going to talk about New York and why people move to New York or move away from New York or whatever you want to talk about. And then you swipe up, you tag New York. In the meantime, you research a New York agent. So when those leads are coming in, you know exactly who you're going to send them to. So there's no time delay. The next week, you're going to talk about Kentucky. Okay. The week after that, you're going to talk about California. And the week after that, you're going to talk about Florida. But by that time, you know, next week you're talking Florida. So you have all this week to research a local agent and research what the heck you're going to share about Florida. And then you're going to tag the location, done. So you have to be prepared. I am a very organized person. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't happen. But if it is in my calendar, I will honor it. So this is what my calendar looks like, and this is what your calendar should look like. So if you're going to do this referral thing, then you're going to do it every whatever day at whatever time. You're going to do a post about it, and then it's done. You move on and you do the next thing.
And if you commit to creating and sticking to that schedule for a year, you will be shocked by the end of that year at the growth. And you might not see a ton of clients immediately, but within that year, I guarantee if you do it right and you follow Gogo steps, which are on her boot camp. So you will have success. I can guarantee that. So please visit, and we have special pricing for our podcast audience. So please visit gogopodcast.com and you can learn all about her social media bootcamp. Gogo, thank you once again. You are crushing it. How many people are on your team now? I have to know.
624.
Unbelievable. So at our firm, we have
catching
just
up
under,
with you.
You are catching up. So we have about 800, but only here in Chicago. Gogo has team members from all over the United States, which is, by the way, did she ever cold call even one of them to say, come join my team? Not even once. That's what I do. I have to cold call everybody, or I have a team that cold calls. Gogo attracts. So I need to take a lesson.
We didn't even talk about that. We have a whole other boot camp. Did I tell you that?
No, is it an agent attraction boot camp?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have now a different boot camp because I became really good at this.
Yes, you did.
I like to figure things out that I don't know. And then when I do set my mind on something, it's full blown. It's 1,000,000% really. And so now I have my systems and all of the trainings and the mentality and the, everything that it took to agent attract the 624 agents. So now we have a course on that. It's over 80 videos, I think. So it's pretty much everything from, well, now more, because we just added on to the agent retention side of things. Because after we did the agent attraction portion, from the moment that you start talking to an agent, welcome to the process until they decide to join you and become active, I realized is most of the work starts after they become active.
Yeah,
right?
the attracting agents just step one. Yeah,
exactly. After they join you, you say, now what? That's when all the celebrations start, and adding them to all the groups and all the coachings and the trainings and the boot camps and the leads and the this and the that. So then we created an agent retention side of the boot camp. So again, everybody who's our students automatically got the agent retention side of the course for free. And then everybody else who's purchasing now is paying the higher price. So I like to, how do I say this? The people who have their trust in me through time before the product is even fully designed, if they already trusted me on day one, they get everything usually for free as we are coming out, as we are adding on to the course. So we don't charge within the course for more. So that's agent attraction. I have to give you the link for that one as well.
Yeah. So for now, everyone, just go to gogopodcast.com to learn about her social media bootcamp, and also you can just Google her agent attraction program as well, and that'll pop right up as well. And we'll probably have a special link for that coming shortly for our listeners. But Gogo, thank you once again for being on the show. Before anyone signs off, please, we ask one thing and one thing only: tell a friend. Think of one other agent that could benefit from hearing from Gogo and that amazing tip about how to generate out-of-state referrals. By the way, how great is that? You don't have to go to showings. You don't have to, deal with the 10 p.m. phone calls. You just have to make an introduction, and then you get 25% of a deal. I need to start doing that.
I did the math while you were talking. If they do one a week, so they continuously posting one a week, a different state, let's assume that they're just going to get one measly lead. One. Okay. If they do that, if you do one measly lead a month, that's $21,000 extra income that you didn't have. But if you do that one a week, because you do that every Tuesday, featuring a different state, that's $84,000 income. And all you did is made phone calls.
It's kind of the closest thing we have to passive income as a real estate agent doing transactions. It's really like the closest thing to earning money while you sleep, which isn't exactly true, but kind of is.
Okay, so let's say, how long did it take you to make the post and research Florida and make a post about it? And
maybe an hour, maybe.
Let's say an hour, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say it's going to take you another 5 minutes to call an agent and be like, hey, would you like to take my referrals and get their information? So let's say it's 2 hours each week.
Yeah.
Would you do that for $1,750?
Oh, unbelievable. Yes, all day long.
It's pretty much a $900 an hour hourly rate. Like doctors don't make that much.
Yeah, it's awesome. And if you really want to get cool about it, you could find a virtual assistant to research those areas for you. For maybe they spend an hour on that and it costs you, I don't know, $10, $15, whatever. And would you pay $15 to save yourself a little bit of time? Yeah, I would. So anyway, Gogo teaches all of this stuff in her bootcamp. So go to gogopodcast.com and tell a friend about our show. Send them to our website, which is keepingitrealpod.com, or have them pull up any podcast app, search for Keeping It Real, and hit the subscribe button. Gogo, thank you so much once again. And we will see everybody, including Gogo, on the next episode. Thanks, Gogo.
Thank you. See you next time.